What's going on, everybody? Justin here, X4 Prospecting. It's the weekend. You know what that means. We are back at the creek looking for more gold. Just me today. It's Sunday, and boy, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I am exhausted from the last video. Oh man, 9 buckets. It is a toll. Anyway, I decided to come out today and strictly do a prospecting day. That's all we're doing. Prospecting new areas that I haven't gotten to in the past, but I've always wanted to. So, let me pan you guys around and show you the first area that we're going to be prospecting today. Alright. Right beside a steep cliff, bedrock on one side. And, well, back a few videos ago, when it was flooded out here, when I decided to cross the creek, this is the spot I tried to cross it in. And I tried to cross it on that tree. That tree was going diagonal from here to there. And I stepped on it, and what do you know? I ended up about waist deep in the water. So right now the water's only about a foot high, so that gives you a sign of how much water is actually moving through this area when it floods. There's a family camping right up here, but when you look upstream, the creek does a sharp right hand turn, and boy, when it floods through here, it really floods through here. The water is up maybe 2.5 feet from what it is right now. So all I'm doing is I'm following a gravel layer that runs right through there. You can actually see the gravel in the water and where it accumulated. Let me walk up here and I'll show you. Alright, so when it's flooding, this inside bend, there's a big log that comes across the creek right there. It creates a dropout point, slows the water down on this inside bend, and it leaves a whole gravel layer right here. You can tell where the fast water is versus where the slow water is. So you see this gravel right here, from here over is good ground. From here that way, it's going to take a big piece of gold to fall out behind that. I tested a spot over there. I tested a spot 3 times in the middle, and well, the 3 times in the middle I've been finding about 5 to 7 decent sized flakes of gold every pan. So I just brought my backpack, lightweight backpack today with my lightweight gear in it, just strictly for prospecting. Basically my small sluice, the little 6x24 inch dream sluice, couple of pans and a shovel, and obviously a couple buckets. So let's see if we can find a spot to set the sluice up in and fill a bucket up with some material and see how one bucket does, and depending on the results of that bucket, we'll either stay here or we'll move on. Alright, so I just did 3 shovels as another test pan. Classified it down to 1/4 inch. Check this out. So you got a lot of fine gold all through here. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, there's probably like 20 specks in there. And 2 decent sized flakes. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and fill a bucket up. Alright, I'm gonna try and set the sluice up somewhere where we can process this material, and we'll come back to you. Alright, so we have 1 bucket ready to run. Got the sluice in the water, and I don't know if it's running 100%, but we'll know when we throw a scoop in there. So let me get all set up and we'll start running this material. Alright, we will come back after we get done running this bucket and I do a cleanup and see if we're going to stay here and process some more dirt or if we're going to move on. Alright guys, we just did that cleanup and I'm not going to lie, that is really good for one bucket at our first prospecting spot. So I don't know if we're going to do much more prospecting today other than digging. Check this out. That is a lot of good looking gold from one bucket. Times that by 2 like my normal runs. Got a heck of a day here. So I'm digging that. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and fill up another bucket, make sure that that paste streak continues out, and we'll come back to you. Alright guys, we got test bucket number 2 here ready to run. I finally have the sluice looking almost perfect. We won't know until we throw the first scoop of material in there, but it looks like it's running right. So let's go ahead and run some material. Alright guys, we're going to come back to you after we get done running this second test bucket. And alright, we got run number 2 here, test bucket number 2, and well, this is why you do tests before you go and fill a whole bunch of buckets up. So it would appear that that flood gravel, it doesn't go too deep, so I'm gonna have to work a thin layer because I think I punched below it and I only got a little bit of fines. You can see there, not a whole lot of gold in there, but some super fine stuff. So that means we are going to go back to doing some more test pans. There's a few spots right in this area that I want to check out. I want to check out right behind this bar I'm standing on. So right in this area, see where you have that water flow right here, and then it drops out right here. That right there is a low pressure zone, which means your gold will drop out right here. Next spot is down here behind this big boulder. As you can see, that big boulder right there by itself, and the way that this jetty or this mountainside here comes out, you can see that water, how those leaves are starting to come back up, creates that small whirlpool effect, which will grab your gold out of the creek and deposit it right there as well. Obviously we have a big obstruction when this thing's in flood stage, so right behind there, and there's also another spot right down there. Yeah, there's plenty of spots through here that look really promising and really interesting. So yeah, we're gonna do a few test pans, and I'll come back and show you where we found the best gold from. Alright guys, well, video update here. I just did, I don't know, about 15 to 20 pans. I snuffed up the gold from about 8 of those, and then, I mean, it was just consistent gold. So what I did was I took my Garrett Super Sluice, screened all the material down to 1/4 inch, did 51 shovels, and then I super concentrated it by painting it down to about, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of a pan there, and then I put that 1/8 of a pan into this bucket. So there's 12 Garrett Super Sluice Cons pans in that bucket, which is 51 shovels worth. So yeah, hopefully this is going to be a really good cleanup. Now we're just going to run it through the sluice, because there is a lot of black sand, and I want a more efficient way of getting rid of that black sand. Alright, let me get all set up, and then we'll start running this material through the sluice here. Now I want to set the sluice up so that the material's running very smooth and slow. I don't want to have the sluice running hot by any means. I want to have plenty of time for the material to exchange, black sands to work their way down the sluice, and the gold stays at the top. So I'm going to aim for setting it up just like that. Alright, I think it looks like it's set up for that. We'll see after we do this first handful. All right, let's see how we did. All right, guys, I'm working on that cleanup from 51 shovels of Super Cons, and here's a sneak peek. There's a ton of black sand, though. You can see all that gold in there. Look at all that. See if I can get it out of the glare. Yeah, there's a lot of gold. So I'm going to continue to work on this whole pan of black sands, because there's a lot of it. I'm going to snuff up the gold that I find, and I'll come back to you. Well, I'll try to just separate the black sands from the gold and come back to you and show you how we did for that run. Alright, second attempt at clearing those black sands. Got a nice little smile in the pan here for you. Check that out. That is very good for a spot that I've never even tried or prospected at. It's so funny. John and I have walked past this spot numerous times and said, man, we ought to try prospecting there. But we never did till today. And I'm out here doing it, and yeah, might come back here in the future. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and finish separating these black sands, snuff up the gold that I can find, and who knows, maybe we'll do a couple more runs like that. I was getting some mercury gold down farther down there, right here and right there, which is very interesting. Usually don't see mercury gold on this part of the creek. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to it, and I'll come back to you guys. Alright, guys, it's been about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half since I got that black sand cleared away from the gold as much as possible. I just poured the rest of my cons into my cons container. We'll separate those on the miller table. But I did go ahead and fill up 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket. I did about 8 to 10 more pans. Was getting consistent gold results, so I decided to go ahead and fill a bucket up, and we'll run it through the sluice, and this will be the last run we do for the day. Yeah, it's already 2 o'clock, so don't want to stay out here too long. We'll do a snuffer dump. I'll show you guys the gold that comes from this run, and then we'll do a snuffer dump after that. Should have a very decent snuffer dump. I've been finding decent gold in every single pan I do, so we'll see it all added up at the end of this run here. Alright, let's get to running. Alright, we will come back to you guys after we get done running this bucket and we do a cleanup. Alright guys, we just got done running that last bucket that we're doing today. And here is the cleanup. Very respectable amount of fine flour gold. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So we'll get that snuffed up and then I'll do a quick snuffer dump before we head out. Alright guys, just did our snuffer dump and boy, we found a lot of gold today in that flood deposit, or multiple flood deposits. We did a lot of test pans, but the gold seemed to be riding about 30 inches off the bank, right in line. It was a very thin layer, maybe 6 to 8 inches deep of straight flood gold, and there were actually some bigger pieces in there too. So it definitely pays to get out and prospect, guys, that's for sure. So here's how we did for the day. That is not bad at all. That's actually very, very good. I'm not gonna lie, it might be faster just panning and snuffing up the gold. I'd say that's where at least half of that gold came from. But yeah, we still have our cons container, which is in that bucket right there. So we're gonna have to get the rest of the gold out of all that black sand. So we'll throw that up on the middle table when we get home, and we'll separate all this gold and dry it up and see how we do. Alright, let me get all packed up, snuff up all this gold right here, and I'll come back to you. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today on the creek. We had a good time out here prospecting, checked out a new area that I've never been to before, or prospected at before. I've been here before, but haven't actually looked around and actually done the work to see if there was gold here, and well, there's definitely gold here. So, I'm digging that. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. So we'll catch you guys at home on the scales, and we're out. Alright guys, we've made it back to the scales, got the gold all dried out, ready to weigh up. Anybody got any guesses? Thinking that's right around a 0.2. Well, let's go ahead and see how we did. 0.230 on the dot. Alright, that's pretty good for testing out our new spot. I'm definitely digging that, guys. Alright, special shout out to my patrons. I greatly appreciate the support. Guys, don't forget to check out my Patreon link in the description of this video, and we'll catch you guys next time at the creek. And with that, we are out.